You're listening to the Thingz of That Nature podcast. Coming to you from a city that never sleeps is me, your host, Rockshana. I invite you to join me in truly honest, passionate, and fun talks that motivate, invigorate, and maybe inspire. Even though we're no longer in the mile high, the sky is still the limit. Everything and anything goes. So let's start talking about things of that nature. Hey everyone, thanks for tuning into this episode of the Thingz of That Nature podcast. I'm your host, Rockshana, and today we're going to get all about the mind. You know, I talk a lot about how you can help yourself, and a lot of that has to do with your mental health. So today, because you know I like creating new friends, today we have Cleoni Crawford, who she knows a lot about the mental health. So we're going to hear what she has to say and then pick her brain. Hey, Cleoni, how are you?
Hi, Rockshana. I'm pretty good. How are you today?
I'm doing well. I can't complain.
Cool.
Now, where are you talking to us from?
I'm from Scarborough, Toronto, Ontario, Canada. And that's where I'm from.
Ooh, I've never been to Canada. It's a whole new world.
Really? Yeah, the people are really friendly up here.
Is that a real thing, or is that just something people say?
I think it's a real thing because when I've been to this, because I'm assuming you're from the States, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. I've been to New York and Atlanta and Chicago, and I just found they're not as nice. So, I mean, I love Atlanta. The people in Atlanta are really nice. Southern hospitality, you know, they definitely have it down there. But I find the people up here are a bit nicer, but you know, whatever.
Yeah. Okay. Granted, in defense of the States.
Okay, in defense.
The cities that you've been to are pretty much of those they're a little bit rough. You got to come out to like Denver.
Okay, in that case, then that will be my next trip.
Okay. Yeah, I love New York. Been so many times. I practically lived there for quite some time in my life. And New York is very go. We don't have time to stop.
Definitely.
You know? Go a little west, visit some west spots, and then you'll get that little bit cooler, calmer vibe.
Okay, cool.
So mental health, that's your world. Where did that come from? How did that start, really?
Well, you know, it started because of my own personal lived experience with mental health. It started in 2006 when I first got diagnosed with bipolar disorder. I was in my last year of university, and I was doing some African history courses at the University of Toronto, and I started a nonprofit while in school to help Black youth connect with other entrepreneurs and professionals to kind of inspire them. So I was putting a lot of energy into that. And then all of a sudden I noticed that my energy changed. Like I was talking really fast. I was moving, going like all over the place. I was spending a lot of money. I was not sleeping much. And I was showing all the signs of bipolar. And then all of a sudden, a month or two later, everything, all that beautiful energy, that euphoria that I had experienced, it just came crashing down, where I didn't want to comb my hair, didn't want to brush my teeth, didn't want to eat. I simply wanted to die. And that is when I realized that, you know what, something's wrong with me, because, you know, I'm a person of faith. Why would I want to die? I'm living a good life. You know, I'm in university, I'm enjoying myself, and it just doesn't make sense why I'd want to die. So I checked myself into a mental health hospital with a friend of mine. And that is when I first learned the term bipolar disorder. And from then, things just, you know, I went for therapy at school for about 6 months. And then at the end of the 6 months, I started to feel much better. I was, you know, had a positive outlook of life. And then for a few years, I didn't have an episode at all. But during those years, I had a lot of challenges. Like I had my cousin die, and then I had my sister pass with a car accident, who was only 17 with her best friend. And it was just like, I had a lot of things happen. And finally, back in 2012, everything that had happened to me, it was like, had all these triggers and I wasn't dealing with them. And then by the time 2012 happened, after losing my job working for the government and everything just came crashing down. And I ended up back in the hospital. And since then, I've been hospitalized 27 times in all the years in 3 provinces in Canada. So it's been interesting. It's been an interesting run. And
wow.
Yeah, I've also been sadly, because of my mental health, I've been homeless. I've been to prison twice. I've been suicidal. But you know what? Despite all of that I went through, I'm now living a better life and I've overcome. So it's kind of crazy, the things that I've gone through.
Yeah, that sounds remarkable, amazing, interesting, crazy, like all the descriptions, the adjectives I can think of. When you say you've been hospitalized and then you went to prison, was it because your surrounding people saw what was going on?
Well, yeah, like people like my mother, my friends, they saw that the person that they knew was not the same person. I was definitely, the things that I was doing was definitely out of character. Because I'm a woman of faith, and I would be cursing, I'd be going on social media and I'd be cussing everybody out and saying I'm going to sue everybody. It was just like a crazy period. I was just very angry, and it didn't make sense to a lot of people because it's just not my character. But I was also full of energy. Like I was very charismatic. Like I could talk to anybody, like, so it was just the person who people knew me to be. I wasn't that person. I was a different person. I was just full of energy. And sometimes that energy got me in trouble. Yeah. So, and like in regards to the prison part, what happened is I was actually trying to cross the border to go to, while I was manic, I was trying to cross the border to meet with a potential rapper, because I love music. I'm all about music therapy. So I was gonna meet this rapper in Buffalo, and I was gonna discuss doing a concert with him. And I was denied to cross the border for the first time in my life, because I always cross the border, right? But I was denied to cross the border. And I rather than get really upset, I decided to stay in Niagara Falls. And then I stayed in Niagara Falls for about 2 more days. And then I came back to try to cross again. And I was denied again. And this time I was really manic and I was really upset. And I started to do such weird things. Like I started to spit, I started to rip papers, and I was angry. And then 7 officers came, tackled me to the ground, took off my shoes. They thought that I was on drugs because of my character, my behavior. And they gave me a cavity search. They took my shoes off. They put a mask on me. It was just horrific. Like it was so traumatic. And then they sent me back to the Canadian border. And it was a really horrific time for me. And I was trying to keep myself cool when I got to the Canadian border, and I started to sing really loudly. And then an officer was like, "If you don't stop that, if you don't be quiet, I'm gonna arrest you." So I spat in front of her, and then she accused me of spitting on her, and then I was sent to prison for assault of spit. So, and unfortunately, the second time that I was sent to prison, I was Um, I, I unfortunately online, I threatened a politician, and uh, a warrant was put out for my arrest because of that threat that I made while manic. And um, and then I had to I was trying to run. I was basically on the run because I was like, I don't want to go to jail. I didn't do anything. But the reality is I did do something. I committed a crime, but I just didn't realize what I was doing. And I left my province, on the run, and went to Montreal and was found in Montreal and was sent to prison for 6 days. So, and then they sent me back home after that. It was just, honestly, I've been through it. But where I am today is not that person. So I'm very thankful.
That's a good thing. You're here to talk to us.
Yeah, totally. And like from those those instances where I was, whether it was homeless or I was hospitalized the 27 times, from there I realized, I thought my life was over because I'm a U of T graduate. I have a degree. I worked in the government. I was a fashion designer. I've been on television and magazines and stuff like that. I've done great things. And I thought my life was over. I thought like, oh my gosh, look what this bipolar has done to me. It has stolen everything, my good reputation. People are never going to give me a second chance. And you know what? That's a lie. That's not true. You can turn your life around. And I did. And since then, I've been sharing my story. I wrote a book. Actually, I wrote 2 books, and I have a 3rd book coming out next week. And they're all about mental health, about my journey. And I have a podcast that I get other people to share their stories about mental health. And I have a support group that I started to help Christians with mental health challenges to cope, just to provide support. Because really and truly, when you're going through what you're going through, it's very lonely and you don't feel like you can connect with other people. And so I wanted to create that type of support and information to let people know that, you know what, mental health is not a death sentence. And you can still overcome, you can still strive, you can still thrive, and you can still live a life of abundance despite it. So that's where I'm at now.
Okay. Now, coming from someone who has dealt with mental health themselves, do you feel that alone feeling that, you say that you feel when you're going through mental health, do you feel that's because you're in the state of mind that no one wants to help you, or just you don't even know what's going on?
I would say you don't really know what's going on. You assume it's also, you feel as though it's kind of, I'd say it's about a bit of both, because when you're in your episode, you don't really know what's really going on. Like the extent of it, you can't see the big picture. So sometimes there are people out there that are trying to reach out to you, but you see it as that they're actually trying to stop you from whatever you're trying to do, and then also there are other times, like if you're going through like maybe like depressive mode, you feel like other people, I find it's that people don't know how to help you. They want to help you, but they don't know how to help you because they're afraid.
Now, with you helping people with their mental health, do you help others like figure out a way to help their loved ones and their friends that are going through?
Well, right now I'm just dealing with the people who are going through mental health challenges, but it's something that I'm actually looking to learn how to do to help loved ones, by connecting them with the resources that are in the community. Because I know there are support